There we go. All right, so we're starting on our back and knees are bent, feet on the floor. And so you can do a couple things here. We're gonna be here for just a minute to just kind of land on our mat. So you can keep your knees bent and kind of take your feet wide and let the knees collapse inward to get this kind of internal hip rotation, which we don't get very often. I've been doing it a little more on purpose lately, but it's often that we'll come here and like we'll come into butterfly and we do this external rotation with our knees falling open, but it's rare that we come here and, you know, take those feet apart and let the knees collapse in. So if you can find, it doesn't have to be extreme. Your feet don't have to be really wide, you know, maybe just touching the edges of your mat, just so the knees can just fall into each other. If you can find a place where that feels okay, then great. If not, then find somewhere else for your feet to be. Anywhere is fine. And then let those arms flop open like we would for Shavasana, and just let the body start to melt into your mat just for a moment, just to land, just to arrive, just to say, ah, I've made it, I'm here, yay me, right? Yay me. So feel your arms get a little heavy, your jaw, your face, your heart sinks down into your back, your chest, everything just melting into your mat for a moment. And just start to feel the breath ebbing and flowing. Find the just right breath for you. Maybe it's a nice, slow, long, deep breath to really kind of connect you inward this morning. Maybe it's just a nice, easy, relaxed breath that doesn't take so much effort. Part of our goal in coming here, though, before we start moving, is to just arrive in our bodies on our mat and just check in. Check in with your body in this moment. Start to draw your senses inward. Start to draw your awareness inward. As though you could leave everything outside of your mat there. Imagining that nothing, like there's a barrier, there's a protective bubble, if you will, around your mat this morning. And it can just kind of block everything out that we don't need on our mats this morning. And it can just allow us to zone right in, tune right in. So let that breath consume you. Feel the breath in the body. Feel the ribs expanding and releasing. Feel the exhales help you to let go of whatever you may have brought onto your mat this morning. Let's take one nice big deep belly breath. So nice big breath all the way down into the belly. And then feel it let go. When you're ready, slowly lift one foot up off the floor, bringing the knee towards the chest, and then the other. When you're ready, reach down and grab them, hug them, give a little rock if it feels good. Say good morning to your back. So if you have a really bony spine, rocking from side to side may not feel very good, so obviously don't do it. But if it feels good, you might be able to get a little massage going there. And then let's settle into center and squeeze those knees on in as deeply as you can. And then release, bring those feet back to the floor. Arms along the sides, and when you're ready, lift the hips up, and you can bring the feet a little wider than they would be for bridge, just to make it a little easier to get those hips up and down, because we're just trying to start moving the body and not have it be stressful for the body. So let it be easy, bring those feet wide, and just start lifting the hips up and down. Let's close the eyes again if they're not already, and just tune into the body and breath moving together. So this is the yoga flow. This is the flow, connecting the breath and body through movement. So throughout most of this class, we're trying, we'll attempt to connect our movement with our breath. So see if those inhales can help lift those hips up. And on the exhale, feel those hips float down. Maybe you pause there for a moment when those hips hit the ground to let the exhale leave completely. And then as you inhale up, maybe you've got more inhale. And so you hold those hips for just a moment up there to finish that inhale. Or maybe it's a little more fluid. So again, kind of find that movement that feels right for your breath. So you're not just moving kind of mindlessly up and down, because we do this all the time, right? And so it's that beginner's mind of like, you're doing this for the first time, and remembering our intention of the intention of keeping the body and mind connected. All right, the next time those hips come down, pause there for a moment, move those arms off to the sides a little bit, and drop those knees from side to side, just windshield wiping from left to right. And as you windshield wipe from left to right, really focus on that, the knee. So I'm going over to the right, so I'm really focusing on that left knee pulling down towards center or down towards the floor for that internal hip rotation we were just talking about. So when we drop over the side, we have both internal and external, right? One knee or one hip is going externally and one's going internally. And just notice if one side feels different than the other. So when I drop my knees to the left and pull my right knee down, that is totally different for me on this side than it is on the other. It might not be for you, so just notice. All right, let's bring it on back to knees to chest. So bring those knees in, give a little rock that feels good, and kick those feet on up to happy baby. So we often do this at the end of class, so you might not be able to reach right up and grab those feet. We're not warmed up yet, so maybe you start with the ankles or the calves. Just kind of pull down, but keep the center of the back of the hips rooting down into the floor. So really pull the back of the hips down, and then just see where you can go. See if you can get those ankles to be mostly above the knees. Maybe grab the back of the thighs instead of the legs. So I'm kind of wrapping my arms around the back of my thighs and pulling down just to stretch out that low back a little bit. And so then we're going to kind of kick the right foot out to the right. And let me go this way. And bring the left foot into center. So we don't need our hands to do this. We can either put our hands out in Shavasana or on the belly, and then just from side to side. So one leg's kicking out to the side, the other foot's dropping in towards center, and we're just going from side to side. All right, so let's drop to one side. So let one leg extend out, let one foot drop in towards center. That foot that's in center, kind of grab it, grab the shin, grab whatever you can grab, and just gently pull it down to try and find the center of the back of the hips, because this leg that's extended out is trying to pull us over to that side. So we're trying to use this other foot to kind of keep us centered. So maybe kind of pushing it out and down to just try and find the center of the back of the hips again. And then let that extended leg relax and close the eyes for a moment and just find the breath. And then slowly start to lift that extended leg up towards center. Stretch the other leg up so both feet are up towards the ceiling. And then bring those knees into the chest. Give a little rock. And then kick back up to the sky. Drop that other leg out to the side, and then bend that knee and reach down and grab that ankle or foot or whatever you just grabbed on the other side. Let that extended leg relax. Let it just get heavy. And close the eyes for a moment and try to find the center of the hips. So whatever you need to do with that bent knee side to feel like, okay, I'm kind of pushing it over to the side and then pulling down to try and stay centered on those hips so that extended leg isn't making me roll onto my side. And just find the breath again, focusing on trying to let that extended leg get a little heavier. And slowly bring it back up towards center. Stretch that other leg back up, and then bend those knees and bring the feet to the floor. So just gonna do a quick little core here before we get up off the floor. Okay, so knees are bent. So we want to focus on the heart center. So I like to use my fingers. I use my index fingers and literally find my heart center and push down into it to remind me to keep pushing my heart to the floor. So connect your upper back to the floor and imagine that you have, again, you can use those fingers to kind of keep you tuned into that place right there that we want to press down into. So press that heart to the floor, draw the belly down into the floor. So from belly button to heart, push that down into the floor, especially the heart. Stay focused on that. The belly will automatically pull down when we do this. Go ahead and extend that right leg out. Okay. The knee doctor appointment today. Can't wait. My knee hasn't straightened in weeks. All right, flex the foot. Belly button to heart, push it down into the floor. Keep that glued down. Start to float that right foot down to the floor until the heel touches. Pause there, reconnect, belly button to heart to the floor, and then float that leg back up. And breathe, don't forget that part. So don't lift the foot all the way up above the hip. So it's only coming, so it's in line with that other knee. So we don't need to lift it like all the way up to here. So float it down. We can do this with the breath. There's our exhale. Or if it feels better to inhale down. So let's see. You decide. Let's see, which one do I like? It doesn't really matter to me with the breath. It doesn't make much of a difference to me whether I'm doing the inhale on the up or the down, but go slow and stay connected, belly button to heart. That's what matters. Okay, now we're gonna see if we can make this a little harder. Don't make it harder if you can't do it properly. So how do we know we're doing it properly? You can feel that heart. You don't feel any lift in the back. So float that left foot up off the floor just a little, not a lot. And don't bring the knee towards you. Keep the knee off of the hip. So the knee is forward of the hip and the foot is just maybe 2 inches, an inch or two off the floor. Notice how your low back's starting to lift already. Belly button to heart pushes down. Now, maybe your heel does not go all the way to the floor. I'm shaking about halfway down. I start shaking. Should I keep going or is my back gonna lift? If it's gonna lift, then don't go down all the way and then float back up, but not all the way above the hip. It's not a lot of movement. It's just a little bit of movement. And if that's too much, if your core's not ready for that, then keep that left foot on the floor. But focus on belly button to heart, continue to pull down. That's all you have to do and breathe. So when my back is bothering me, this is one of my go-to deeper core. All right, let's bend that knee, put that foot on the floor, drop those knees from side to side. See, I can't even talk now. Side to side. So most of you know by now that I have 2 herniated discs in my back, and so they're not going to just go away. They're going to be there forever, but they're not bad enough to do anything with. So thank God for yoga, because they've been that way for like 10 years now, and I've survived. All right, let's bring those knees into the chest. But if I overdo it, like I installed floors in my upstairs last week for Hannah's birthday, and it was bothering me. So I pop down on the floor and do these, and usually the next day I'm okay. All right, let's see how that other side is. Belly button to heart, push it down. Stretch that left leg out. Again, we're not lifting it up and bringing it above the hip. We're just stretching it out at that angle there. So it's straight out from the knee. Flex the foot. Belly button to heart pulls down, especially the heart. Focus on that heart pulling down because that's where it likes to lift. Float that leg down. And if you coordinated it with the breath on the other side, go ahead and do it on this side. I know this takes up a lot of time, but it's worth it. And I didn't used to like to do core work in class because I felt like this isn't yoga, right? But if we want to do some of the other things in our yoga practice that we want to do, then Taking a little time to do a little extra core work can be good. All right, so let's see how this side is if we lift that foot up off the floor. So we've got that left leg kind of floating in the air, belly button to heart pulls down, float that right foot off the floor just a little, don't bring the knee towards you. And then see how low you can get that foot without letting the belly button to heart lift off the floor. Keep the breath going. Might not be able to coordinate the breath with the movement now because you're shaking a little bit. Maybe not. Maybe this is super easy for you. All right, the next time that leg lifts up, bring those knees in. Give a little rock from side to side. Kick it up overhead and start rocking and rolling from head to feet. And we're gonna come right up to our feet. So next time your feet hit the floor, get your hands outside the hips and just push up into yogic squat. So just those feet a little wider if you need, and find your yogic squat. Push those knees open and let that bottom drop down. Find that long spine, belly button draws in, lengthen. So see how far away you can push those knees with those elbows. Find the breath. And we're gonna go up and down. Inhale up. So it's gonna be a little challenging for me because of my knee, so I might not be able to drop down as low. So only drop down as low as you can and be able to get back up. So exhale down, inhale up. Waking up our thighs, our hips. And the next time you drop down, let's pause there, stretch it out again, push those knees open, get long in the spine. And fingers to the floor, lift the hips, turn the toes forward, half lift, inhale. Exhale, hinge, good morning, hamstrings. Maybe calves, maybe ankles. Notice where you feel this, pivot those hips forward, find that sensation, that just right amount of sensation. We haven't done much with the hamstrings. We warmed them up a teeny bit with those hip lifts, but not a lot. Maybe you sway the hips from side to side just to see how that feels. And then go ahead and bend those knees, drop it on down into ragdoll, drop heavy. And again, you can shift from side to side here just to see how it feels. You can curve around a little. You can grab the elbows, whatever works here for your body in this moment. All right, let's go to our Stapha Brahman. So let's bring it on up. Let those arms dangle all the way up. Let the head drop into the chest. Take your time coming up on this one. All the way up. Eventually those arms reach up and the hands come to the heart. Bend the knees. So if you feel like your feet aren't in the proper place, then maybe bring them a little closer, a little wider if they feel like they need it. A little bend in the knees. Nice inhale up. Exhale, arms to a T, dive it down. Keep going till you get that stretch in the backs of the legs again. Half lift, inhale, bend the knees slightly, sweep those arms forward alongside the ears. Reach from sitting bones to fingertips, gaze inside the ankles or the heels. And then take it down to your ragdoll, let it go. Let go, let go, let go, let go. Drop, 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 drop. Heavy, heavy, heavy. Soften the jaw, maybe a little flutter of the lips. Feel those exhales. So nice big inhale through the nose. Nice releasing exhale through the mouth. One more. Every once in a while. I don't know why it always happens in the kitchen, but it does. It seems to be my let go place in my house. Maybe because it's kind of open. And so, you know, every once in a while the kids will walk in the kitchen and I'd be hanging in ragdoll and I'd be taking my big inhale and my big exhale. And they kind of knew something was up. All right, let's take our time coming up. It's my letting go all the way up. Back to the heart. All right, let's connect it with the breath. Nice big, big breaths. Nice big inhale up. Nice releasing exhale, dive it down. Nice big inhale overhead. Get those nice full breaths. Nice releasing exhale to the ground. Let it all go. Let every ounce of air go. Don't come up till you need your breath. When you're ready, big inhale up. Arms stretch out. And then back to the heart, bend the knees. Again, inhale. Nice releasing exhale, dive it down. Nice big inhale overhead. And nice releasing exhale back to our ragdoll, let it go. When you're ready, one big inhale up, stretch it out. And back to the heart, bend the knees. One more time. Taking it down to our yogic squat. When you're back, when you come back to the heart, drop it down. Then go ahead and plant those palms down, step the feet back to plank. A nice solid plank here. Spread those fingers, push away from the floor. Heels of the hands to armpits. Really push, get those arms nice and straight and strong and long. Lift the knees up, press back through the heels, and then bring those hips down so they're right in line with the ankles and shoulders. Push up, 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 up. Inhale, up a little more, and knees down, lie down, cobra. Big inhale. And exhale down, 2 more. Inhaling up into cobra. Squeeze those shoulder blades, lift that chest up. And the next time you come down, tuck those toes, get those big toes nice and tucked. Push up straight and strong. And then push those hips back towards the heels, stretch it on out. Keep those toes tucked. And up to our first downward facing dog. Come on up. Pedal the feet, rock the hips. Whatever feels good here. There is no right or wrong movement. So this week, we're gonna do something a little different. We're gonna spend a lot of time on the side of our mat, but next week I think we're gonna go back to those down dog knee to chest variations. We haven't done those in a few weeks, so that's what's coming up next week for Yoga Flow. This week we're gonna do like some side lunge goddess flow stuff that we haven't done in a very long time. But now let's just play here in down dog. There's no right or wrong. Ooh, there's a tight spot. All right, when you're ready, take it to the front of your mat. Work your way through with the breath like we were coming out of a sun salutation. Eventually, we'll all meet back at the heart. All right, let's bring those feet together all the way. Feet together, knees together, hug right on into center. Push those knees in together as you sweep the arms up. Nice inhale. Shift your weight into your heels. Lift up your toes a little bit and sit down in your chair. As you sit down, bring those arms down, straight out from the shoulders. Draw the belly in. So squish those knees together the whole way. Maybe you interlace those fingers and extend those first fingers down. Don't let the butt pop out. Keep those sitting bones reaching straight down. Take your gaze to your thumbs. Keep your knees hugging. Find the breath. How low can you go? Keep the weight in your heels. You can wiggle your toes. They're so light and free. Maybe those arms can lift up, maybe not. Inhale up. Exhale down. Bring the arms down as you sit down in your chair. Bring the arms up overhead as you rise up. Inhale. Exhale, bring the arms down. How low can you go? Keep the weight in the heels when you come down, especially when we're doing this. It's really important when we're coming up and down like this. It's really important to keep your weight in your heels so you're not overloading the knee joint. You're going to feel it right above the knees and the lower quadriceps, but we're not shifting the weight forward onto the toes. My physical therapist says so. She says, don't do that. All right, next time we come down, we're pausing there again. Interlace the hands behind, squeeze the shoulder blades together, dive down on those thighs, lift the arms up away from the body, drop the head, gaze at your big toes as you lift the hips and draw the arms away from the body. If you feel stable, you can let the head drop a little more and gaze at your shins. That requires a little balance there. And bring those hips down, hands to the heart, twist to the right. Keep those knees hugging. Try not to push the knees over. Keep the knees at center as you push, and then try and bring the hips back in line right behind the knees as you find your twist. Little upper back twist there. If you really get the hips in alignment here, this can be a lot of great upper back stretch if you really work this twist. Keep the breath going. How are those thighs feeling? Back to center. Other side. So the actual translation for Utkatta is power. So chair pose is actually translated as power pose. So it should be fiery angle pose. But all right, come on back to center. Sweep those arms up all the way up. Go all the way up. Oh, thank God. And bring it to the heart. Inhale up. Exhale, dive it down. Find that stretch, a little different stretch for the hamstrings. Pivot those hips. Nice long spine. Bend the knees. Step that right foot back. Open the toes to the side. Check your alignment. Heel to arch. Rise up, open to the side. So you're in your warrior two stance. Okay, so open up that knee. Get the weight in the outside of that left foot and sink that right hip down as you open the left knee. Float those arms up, draw the belly in, soften the shoulders down. Inhale. Exhale, reverse. Inhale, warrior two. Exhale, hand to thigh. Just a gentle side angle. We can go deeper later, just so we can make it nice and easy to get back to our warrior two. So our warrior two is our inhale. As you come into your warrior two, sink that right hip down, open that knee, and then our reverse is our exhale. Inhale. And exhale, side angle. So find your rhythm with the breath, just starting to wake up the body a little more. That thigh is just burning so much, you can't keep it bent, then go ahead and straighten it. You can do all of these poses with the legs straight. It doesn't have to stay bent. It's just a quad builder. All right, so the next time we come into side angle, hand on the thigh, bring the other hand down. Focus on keeping this right hip tucked in, so you're sinking this right hip down. Open up that left knee. Draw your left ribs towards your thigh without letting that right hip pop up. Keep this nice straight line here. Maybe you can get to the elbow. Some of you will be able to get in the inside of the leg. I've got fingertips on the floor. That's a lot. Okay, so listen to your body. Think about the straight line we're trying to draw on the right side of the body. Roll towards the floor until your right fingertips can touch the floor, and then spin to the side. Pivot those feet to the side. Nice inhale, half lift. Exhale, dive it down. And rise up. Flip those toes to the other side. So open up those right toes. Same thing on this side. So sink that left hip down. That right knee is going to collapse in. Open it up. So it's this, they're both working. You're trying to work to open this right knee as you open and sink the left hip. Draw the belly in, stand up tall as you sink down low, soften those shoulders. Virabhadrasana, Dwi, warrior two. Nice inhale here. Exhale, reverse. Keep that knee open. Inhale, warrior two. Exhale, side angle with just the hand. And find your flow with your breath. All right, so the next time we come into our side angle, let's take some time, working our way down. Take your time. Don't be in a hurry, even if you know exactly where you can go. It's not a destination. It's a journey. Find that breath wherever you end up. And roll it towards the floor till those left fingertips can hit the floor, and walk it around to the front. Pivot those right toes forward. Half lift, inhale. Exhale, hinge. And lifting up a little bit, opening the toes to the sides. So bend that right knee, sink to the right. And then we're gonna flow into center and to the left. So just going from side to side in our side squat. So if you want a little more challenging, really want to build some thigh muscles, try and do it without your hands on the floor. So it might look like this. You might come up to center, and it might just be a little tiny side lunge. You might not get very low. You don't have to do this. This is just an option. Or some of you can bring those hands to the heart and come right on down super low, way down here, and all the way up and all the way down. So play around with that a little bit. Everybody's gonna be able to, I miss this because I can't do it on the right side. But I used to love this. This was a great thigh builder. So just maybe your hands are still on the floor. All right, so next time we come to center, whether your hands are on the floor or not, let's bring the hands to the floor if they're not already. Find your forward bend. And then rise on up. Scooch those feet in a bit, where they'd be for 5-pointed star. Let's go ahead and stretch it out into 5-pointed star. We'll flow with that breath again. So 5-pointed stars are inhale, side bend is our exhale. So either side, just flowing from center to the side. Use that core to lift you up out of your side bend. So you want to end on the side you didn't start on. So whatever side you didn't start on, finish there, and we'll meet back at center. And then bring it up and bring it to the heart. Open the toes. Goddess pose, drop it down. We're gonna go up and down like we did our yogic squat. So what I really want you to focus on is kind of what we've been focusing on in that warrior two, of finding the outside of the foot. So if it's available, try lifting your toes a little bit and finding the center of the foot. That might mean you need to bring your feet closer together so they're not as wide as mine. Maybe it's more of a plie where your knees can go past your ankles. They can go right over your toes, as long as you feel like you can feel your whole foot and your knees aren't collapsing in. So play around with those feet. When you squat down, you want to feel like you can push the weight to the outsides of the feet and maybe even lift the toes a little bit. Okay, so play around with that. So we're gonna go up, inhale, straighten the legs, reach up, exhale, hands to the heart, squat down as low as you can, but maintaining that integrity of the whole foot pressing into the floor, so you don't feel the weight shifting to the inside of the foot as you squat down. One more time. The next time you sink into your goddess pose, hold it there. Hands can stay at the heart. You can push the knees open. You can bring it into the full pose. Open up those knees. Try not to pop the chest forward and the butt out as well. That's the other thing that happens here. So you're only going as low as you can, keeping those shoulders right over the hips. And again, maybe it's easier with those hands at the heart, or it's more sustainable, or you can go deeper. Breathe in. And come on up. Heels go out. Back to our 5-pointed star. Holy thighness. Inhale, lift the heart. Whose idea was that? Exhale, dive it down. Widen those feet. Find your stretch. And let's go ahead and walk those hands forward a little bit into a wide-legged down dog. And just stretch it on out. And walk the hands back underneath you. Start to spin towards the front of your mat, so pivot those feet. And as soon as you're forward enough to step that back foot forward, go ahead and step it forward. Feet together, knees together, Utkatasana. Chair pose. Maybe you start with those arms in front again, so you can get nice and low. Heels, weight in the heels. Or if you're like enough already with the thighs, maybe you're a little higher, maybe those arms come up, maybe not. Find your breath, keep those knees hugging together. Dive it down onto those thighs, interlace, switch the interlace to the funky feeling grasp, and then lift those arms up away from the body, finding our shoulder stretch. And sweep it up all the way up. Hands to the heart. Inhale, overhead. Exhale, dive it down. Pause for a moment, pivot those hips. See how those backs of the legs feel now. They might be getting a little more warmed up. You might be able to go a little lower. You might not. And bend those knees, step that left foot back, open those toes to the side, back to our warrior two stance. So rising up, opening, floating those arms right up. Think all that stuff I yapped at you about when we did it before. Really sink down into that hip, get that nice inner thigh stretch. All right, so triangle this time. Inhale, warrior two. Exhale, reverse. Inhale, warrior two. Exhale, triangle. So find your rhythm. Maybe you do, because we're going into triangle. Let's try this. It's a hard. Go back to warrior two for a moment. Let's see how this goes. It's a mind game. It's mind over matter, right? Because we have habits. This is what breaking habits is like. So it takes practice to break habits, right? So warrior two is our inhale. Straighten the leg, reverse, triangle. Bend the knee, warrior two. Straighten the leg, triangle. So we're straightening the leg on the exhales, bending it on our inhales. So take a moment to see if you can get that rhythm and notice. I really kind of have to think about it for those first couple because it's different than we're used to. All right, the next time you come in to triangle, pause there. Think all that stuff I yap at you guys about all the time in triangle, right? Squeeze that left glute, or yes, left. Nice straight line from the hip to the armpit. Use that core to hold the torso where it's at. What is holding the torso there? It's floating in the air. You need some core here to hold it and find that breath. Use your core to lift you up. Flip it to the side in this kind of wide-legged five-pointed star. We're just going to stay there for a moment. Left arm down, right arm up. Inhale. Exhale, side bend. Center, inhale. And right arm down, left arm up. Find your side bend to the other side. Breathe. And five-pointed star. Let those arms float down for a moment. Turn the left toes open. Find your warrior two stance. Let your arms stay down until you find the legs and the hips and the torso. And then when you're ready, find that warrior two with the arms. All right, so this is our inhale. Exhale, straighten the leg, reverse triangle. Inhale, warrior two, bend the knee. Exhale, straighten the leg, triangle. Find your rhythm with your breath. All right, the next time you come in to triangle, take your time getting there, don't rush. Take your time, finding your way into it. Work from the ground up, feet, knees, hips, glutes. Right glute is squeezing. Torso, arms are the last thing to come into the pose. Find the breath wherever you're at. And float it on up. Flip those toes to the side. Once again, nice inhale, lift the heart. Little back bend, and exhale. Dive it down to our last wide-legged forward bend. And walk those hands forward once again into our wide-legged down dog. And stretch it out. So yogi's choice here, you can do pretty much anything you want here. You can stay in wide-legged down dog. You can come and do that twist that we do oftentimes here in wide-legged. You could do another side lunge. You could do a skandasana where you lift up that heel off the floor and open that knee up. Little deeper side lunge. It's a little bit of balance involved there. So just take a moment to find something that feels right and good for your body in this moment. Come in and do the twist. Three breaths or so. If you're doing something that requires each side to be done, then 3 breaths on each side. If you're doing something like staying in that wide-legged down dog, then stay there for about 6 breaths or so. And take your time finishing up. Eventually, we're going to spin back towards the front of our mat, hop it back forward for one more Utkatasana. Last one, I promise. Take your time getting there. Power pose, chair pose. Can you wiggle your toes? And all the way up. Nice inhale. Exhale, let those arms float down. Give the shoulders a little roll. All right, let's step those feet apart a little bit so we have a better chance of them getting to where they need to be in our plank. Inhale up. Exhale, dive it down. Stretch, stretch, stretch. Half lift, inhale. And exhale, step those feet back to plank. Nice inhale there. Push up, 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 up. Knees down, lie down. Nice big cobra. Maybe pause there for an extra breath. Roll those shoulders back and down. Squeeze those shoulder blades together. Hug those elbows close. Push into the heels of the hands so the fingers are light. Just like in our chair pose just a moment ago, we're sinking into the heels of the feet. Sink into the heels of the hands and keep your fingers light just like we did our toes. And come on down. Tuck those toes. Get those big toes tucked under. Nice big inhale. Push up. And exhale, push those hips back to the heels, stretch it on out. And then up to downward facing dog. So once again, yogi's choice here, do whatever the body wants or needs. Here in down dog. Maybe it doesn't need down dog, maybe it needs a break and you drop down into extended child's pose instead. That's totally fine. We're pretty much done though, so maybe you push through that desire. Like sometimes, like it's not always bad to push ourselves a little bit, right? And sometimes when we push ourselves, we grow. And most times, but sometimes we push ourselves too hard and it's too much, right? And so that's that constant balance that we're trying to find, is like finding that healthy amount of push. Because sometimes we do need to push ourselves through the challenging things, the challenging times, things we don't want to do to get to the other side. And we're like, oh, look what I just did, right? And we feel more powerful and more capable. All right, let's take it down if you haven't already to extended child's pose. But sometimes it's okay to be weak and it's okay to need a rest and it's okay to say, I just can't today. That's okay too. So trying to really tune in and get to know ourselves and know when we can push a little and when we need to back off. Find that breath wherever you're at. Extended child's pose, whatever feels right and good for the body in this moment. And let's lift that head, walk those hands close until you can rise up and shift over to one hip. So you can kick those feet on out in front of you. And then scooch it forward until you can come on down onto the back, back to where we started this morning. Those knees coming into the chest. And just hug them on in for a moment. Close the eyes. Tune in. All right, let's see what that happy baby feels like now. So go ahead and kick those feet on up. Start with the backs of the thighs, even if you know you can grab your ankles or feet, and pull those knees on in towards the armpits. Before you go for the feet, pull the center of the back of the hips down. So that sacrum, pull it into the floor, the SI joint, really, right? And then see if you can get the ankles over the knees, and then maybe reach up and grab those ankles and push the knees down a little more. Maybe you get to the heels, maybe not, but focus on the center of the hips pulling down. Close the eyes for a moment and just notice how this feels. And if you like to rock here, feel free to rock. To find the pose first. Even if you're rocking, try and keep those hips rooting down. All right, let's bring those feet to the floor and bring those feet out wide like we started with this morning. So this time we're going for the stretch though. So see how far out you can bring the feet and have the knees still touching. So the ankles are pretty much straight out from the knees. Okay, and they're just going out to the feet are inching out to the sides, and just see how far out they can go with the knees still being able to touch and it not bothering your knee. So if you feel pressure or discomfort on the inside of the knee, then bring those feet back in a little bit. Okay, so you can just stay here and let the arms flop open if you want. This is good enough. If you want a little more stretch for those internal rotators, then lift your left knee up out of the way just a little, just enough that you can pull that right knee down towards the floor. Okay, so that's good. If you want even more, engage your core, pull your belly down and lift your left leg up. Use your core to lift that left leg up and lay the left leg on the right leg. And then draw it down a little more. If you're going this far, if you're doing this variation, you want to pull away from it. So you want your right hip pulling, the back of the right hip and the back of the right ribs pulling down towards the floor as you use the left leg to pull the knee towards the floor. Close the eyes and just notice. And again, any stage. We had 3 options here, right? Just stay with the feet on the floor and the knees pressing together. Don't lay the leg on top of this one like this if it doesn't feel good. And then this one. All right, slowly release from wherever you're at. Bring those knees back into the chest. Give a little rock, kind of our reset button. And then feet back to the floor. Let's find our positioning first. So back to where we started, inch those feet out. And maybe you hang out here again with those nice Shavasana arms and just relax. So whatever you did on the other side, give it a go on this side. Don't forget to use that core to lift that leg up if you're doing the leg on top variation. All right, when you're ready, slowly release. Bring those knees back on in. Give a little squeeze. Oof, that side. It's definitely different. And take a moment to think about what the body might want or need right now. I'm gonna just roll over to the side and flop open into a twist. So if that feels good for you, go ahead and do that. If you want another happy baby or a reclined butterfly or a different twist, then go for it. Just take a moment to see what the body needs. Maybe you just come to center and float those legs up to the sky. in this kind of imaginary legs up the wall to get a little inversion going on there. And if you're doing something that requires both sides, of course, do both sides. Wow, you can tell it's cold outside today. The heat did not shut off this whole class. Taking your time, finishing up. And when you're ready, do anything else there is left for the body to do. And then start to think about where the body wants or needs to be for your final relaxation. So just take a moment to get set up. So we always want to be comfortable, but we want to be even more comfortable than usual today because we're here a little bit longer for my classes anyway. Usually we're in Shavasana for about 5 minutes, and that's about what we'll be here. So maybe a minute or two longer, but make sure you're comfy. Or if legs up the wall, wherever you want to be, it doesn't matter. Wherever the body's comfortable. There's no right or wrong place to be. So once you arrive in that place, wherever that is for your body, take a moment to check in. Make any adjustments that need to be made. Say, hello, body. What do you need? Do you need a different place? Do you need me to move something? Do you need a prop? And then just begin to feel the body drop. Feel the body begin to get heavy. In whatever position you're in, whether it's legs up, even if it's legs up the wall, the legs can still get heavy and relax, right? And find the breath. Just begin to feel the breath in the body. Coming back to that place we started in this morning, connecting with the breath. Once again, finding that just right amount of breath for you in this moment. We'll work a little deeper in a moment, but maybe that's where you need to be right now. Maybe that slow, long, deep breath is that thing that helps you relax. It is for me. Feeling those nice, strong, releasing exhales. And then with each exhale, feel your limbs get a little heavier. Feel the weight of the arms sink into the floor, the weight of the legs. With each exhale, feel the right arm get a little heavier, a little more relaxed. On the next exhale, feel the right hand and fingers and wrist get a little heavier and a little more relaxed. And then the forearm right up to the elbow, just on that right arm. And then on the next exhale, that upper arm, the biceps and triceps. And feel that right shoulder get a little heavier, melting towards the floor a little more. That entire right arm relaxed and heavy, dead weight. Noticing the difference between your right arm and your left arm right now, if there is any. And bring that breath on over to that left arm. Feel the inhale come in, and on your exhale, feel that left hand and wrist and fingers get a little more relaxed and heavy. And then on your next exhale, feeling the forearm get a little more relaxed and heavy on that left arm. And then again, on the next exhale, the biceps and triceps on that left arm just soften and release, becoming completely relaxed and heavy. And then that left shoulder drops into the floor. The entire left arm from the shoulder to the fingertips, heavy and relaxed. Notice the space in between your shoulders, in the upper back and across the front. From the heart center up through the throat. As you inhale, feel it expand. And as you exhale, feel it let go. And from the heart center to the belly button, as you inhale, feel those lower ribs and diaphragm expand. And on the exhale, feel it all let go. Feel it all melt towards the floor and release all of the organs in between the heart and belly button. And from the belly button to the pubic bone, feeling the breath move its way to there. Feeling all those pelvic organs sink and soften. Every muscle, tendon, ligament, joint, the entire pelvic floor. Right into that hip joint. And bringing your awareness to the left hip and buttocks. Feeling it get a little heavier, a little more relaxed. And from the hip down through the thigh, the entire thigh, right down to the knee. Heavy and relaxed, every muscle, tendon, ligament, right down into the knee joint. And with your next exhale, feel the calf and shin become a little more relaxed and heavy. And then the ankle and the foot and the toes. The entire left leg feels heavy and relaxed. Shifting your breath and your awareness over to the right hip and buttocks, feeling that right hip and buttocks relax and soften. And the entire thigh, right down to the knee, every muscle, tendon, ligament, right down to that right knee joint. And with your next exhale, feel that shin and calf get a little heavier, a little more relaxed on that right leg. And the ankle and foot and toes. That entire right leg heavy and relaxed. The entire body from the shoulders to the fingertips to the toes, completely heavy and relaxed. Noticing the jaw, letting it relax a little more. Any clenching subsides. The eyes sink a little deeper into their sockets. And even the forehead feels a little heavier and more relaxed. As you come back to just feeling the breath in the body, connecting with those exhales and that sense of letting go. Staying present for just 2 more breaths. Nice, slow, long, deep breaths. Bringing awareness to your fingers and toes, just noticing them. And when you feel like you can start to move them, start to wiggle those fingers and toes. Eventually, the hands and feet may be making a gentle fist and opening and closing the hands. Eventually, the ankles and wrists. Eventually, the elbows and knees. Eventually, the shoulders and hips. And take your time finding movement in the arms and legs in whatever way feels right and good for you. Stretching, wiggling, moving. And so those of you on the recording, I encourage you to finish your practice with hands at the heart and saying thank you to yourself, but I'm going to let you come out of where you're at your own pace. So take your time, take care. Don't forget to give yourself a little thanks.